People, it is time for the drop. We are back in the saddle. Quinn Bishop is here, Cactus Music World headquarters, and he has the list. Let's get into it.
Hey, we got a great list of summer specialties for you. We're gonna kick it off. Let's talk about it in store, happening Friday, August 16th. This is at 5:30 p.m. sharp because she has an early gig. She's opening for Asleep at the Wheel that night at Heights Theater. The great Melissa Carper is going to be at Cactus playing tracks from her new album, Born Enya. We've talked about her a bunch.
And you really like this one.
I like her, man. She's real deal country. Like, her voice is just like so old school. She's a brilliant writer and a stand-up bass player, like phenomenal musician.
Nice.
And you can come discover her live here at Cactus. And if you dig it, you can go see her open for the legendary Asleep at the Wheel. One of my favorite people, Ray Benson.
Good guy.
Keeping it going. Great guy.
Good man.
And so yeah, come out. Complimentary St. Arnold beverages.
What's it cost to get in?
That'd be $0.
Free.
Yeah. And man, I'm so glad that hopefully we're coming to the end of summer here and it starts cooling off. And bands will artists will want to come to Texas and play, so we can have them right here on the Cactus stage again, because nobody wants to
No, right
come
now
here.
it's the surface of the sun.
Well, let's talk about a guy from almost the surface of the
Come
sun.
on.
Let's talk about a guy from Lubbock, Texas.
Come
Brand
on.
new Joe Ely record. This is Driven to Drive. This is his 23rd LP, and it features his buddies, Jeff Blankenhorn and Joel Guzman playing on the record. Legendary Texas musician. I think outside of Buddy Holly, he's probably one of the most well-known Lubbock musicians ever.
And how many years now? Like, how many decades has Joe Ely? Because I remember him doing, like, it felt for a while like late 80s, I think.
Oh boy,
he was at
hot.
Fitzgerald's
He
all the time.
So he was on MCA for a long time. I think the first record's like 75, 76. Of course, he was in the Flatlanders before that, and then and then he left MCA because he was strictly a country recording artist. And then, man, he got Dave Grissom on guitar.
Yeah,
and it became like this juggernaut, rockin' bar rock band.
Yeah.
That's what I love. That's the Joe Ely that really is.
This album, classic Joe Ely. It's he's always had that. Like you said, it's country, but then it got more rock with David in the band. But he's always been able to just kind of float between like Americana, blues, country, rock, whatever. It's Joe Ely.
Yeah.
It's so good. I really like this one.
Yeah, I do too. It's a good one. All right, you ready to talk about these guys?
Please.
This is one of my favorite bands ever in the whole world of all time.
Okay.
X. They're back with their vinyl album after 47 years of making great music. They are calling it a day. You got Billy Zoom, who's approaching 80. But I'll tell you, of all the bands that have reunited, I put Devo in that same category of all the bands that have done it, stopped, and then done it again. They're the toppermost of the poppermost. I mean, they're a fantastic
This
live
record's
band.
incredible.
They're going to be here at House of Blues on the 21st. And you should go see them. They're one of the few bands you can go see that's the all original lineup.
And the only time I saw them live, it was not the original lineup.
Oh, is that
Tony
right?
Gilchristen was
I
playing
saw.
guitar.
He's a fantastic player. He's a fantastic player. So I mean, I'm charged to go see that show.
I want to see
It's
that
gonna
show.
be
Yeah,
good,
I definitely want to see
Clark.
the show. Buy that album, people.
Next up, we have a guy not everybody might be familiar with. The artist is American Aquarium. This is their new album, The Fear of Standing Still. I guess it's kind
Tell
of
everybody
written on the
about
back.
it.
So
Because you got to put me in the list of people that are not familiar with them.
So they've got a bunch of records, but it's really kind of they're from North Carolina, but it's really kind of an evolution of a band in that the personnel has slowly dwindled down to where it's just kind of this one guy, BJ Barham, and his music really connects with people. It's fairly autobiographical. He really has a connection with his ardent fan base, and it's I would call it reflective Americana music.
Cool.
But he's cool, and kind of been through long trail and exactly. He's one of those guys exactly what's going on with him by listening to his new record, produced by Shooter Jennings.
Nice.
So kind of a dialed down into it Americana record. So I think it's gonna people
American
will be digging
Aquarium.
it.
The Fear of Standing Still. I like that. It's a cool name.
Still.
Cool name.
Hey, Blur had a triumphant return back to the concert stage after, I think, one of their best records ever. That they had that song, "The Narcissist," on it, which was one of my favorite songs from last year. You don't see this a lot from bands where they're confident enough to say. Usually, when you hear a live album, it's a souvenir thing that's recorded from a bunch of different shows. This is the entire show.
Yeah.
From Wembley. I mean, short list of people that can play a venue that big. They certainly in the UK can do it. So you got 2 CD, 2 Blu-ray documenting this release. I listened to several tracks from it. I thought it sounded fantastic.
I was listening to tracks I heard. I had the same reaction, that the sound quality for a live show was really, really, really good. But I guess they would not have put it out if it was.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's not stopped some other folks from less than stellar sounding live records.
Yeah, that's good enough. Put it out.
And then, of course, in the '70s, you had all the live albums that weren't really live albums.
I was
like
reading
the Kiss records.
I was
Frampton
reading
Comes
the
Alive.
article. Somebody posted the article about what it took to put Kiss Alive together, and for the different recordings, and then they finally had to go back in the studio.
Yeah, it's just them like roll the crowd.
Yeah, put in the crowd noise.
And we'll just play along with
I
that.
still love it. I don't care.
Yeah, no.
I still love that album.
And in the '70s, that's really before the greatest hits records took off.
Right.
And so live albums were so successful because they were de facto greatest hits records. They had all the songs you knew on it because your only other option was to buy the individual records. Hey, these guys are back. Los Lonely Boys.
I know.
11 years. That seems like a crazy amount of time to sit on the sidelines.
Take a little bit of a break.
Of course, they've done other stuff. I mean, they've toured with the Who. I think they've stayed generally on the road. But
Were they San Antonio guys?
They're from in the valley,
McAllen
somewhere.
or something like
something
that?
like
Yeah,
that. Yeah, I mean, I think it's
Los Lonely Boys, man.
It's Los
I
Lonely
thought
Boys,
that
right?
single was really cool.
Yeah, I think all three
definitely enjoyed it.
The all three of that Wish You Would track is Dance With Me and that Send More Love track. I listened to all three of those singles, and it's like, if you like this band, you dig it. And I think a lot of bands, if you've been around for a while, you get burned out playing. They were just road dogs. Take time off. You need a reset moment, and perfect time to come with a new record. But
Yeah.
it's cool. It's very groovy.
That recent moment might be a decade plus.
Yeah, absolutely.
They were tired.
They were tired. They needed band of brothers, and touring with family members. Like, ooh, I don't know about that. Sorry, family members. And Part of the Sun's back with a new album, Ask That God, and I would consider them. This is my own term. This isn't from any press release. High concept electropop. You like that?
Perfect.
Okay, great. Kind of 80s inspired. This is their. I think this is like their third or fourth album. They're one of those groups you might think, I don't know who that is. They get a lot of music licensed for
Music,
stuff because it's
television
really,
shows.
Yeah,
They were in a like a Toyota Camry commercial or something a couple of years ago.
Yeah. So they licensed a bunch of music. In prior to this entity, there was he was that guy Sleepy Jackson. They had like this band, but it was kind of a one-man band, I guess similar to this. And
Didn't know that?
yeah, so he made a couple records. The first record was like a Mercury Prize nominated thing. It was huge.
Wow.
We did an in-store with him, and you know what? He was really high.
I didn't know which way you were going to go there. I saw them live.
Oh yeah, how was that?
It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there to actually interview one of the opening acts, and my buddy's like, "You've got to stay around to see this." I'm like, "Yeah, I want to stay around to see this
Because
we've already
it's-
seen 10 bands."
Because it's high concept electro
And
pop.
man,
You
it's
wanna
the
be there for it.
costumes, the light shows, the performance, the theater. It was. You got your money's worth.
Well, there
I'll
you
tell
go.
that.
Go see them on that.
Yeah,
I'm sure they're
yep,
going to be
yep,
on the
yep.
road. All right, you ready?
So excited for this.
I
I'm
knew
so-
that you would
I'm
be.
so excited for
so,
this.
Powerwolf, Wake the Wickets. This is a band. They could not be bigger in the UK and EU, and they're really starting to break here.
So, in the genre of power metal,
Yeah.
this
German power metal.
German
Let's
power-
clarify.
This should be shocking to no one, but I think it's is it Wacken or Wacken, the festival?
I think it's Wacken.
Wacken Festival. There's, I think it's like 3 or 4 days. One day is just power metal.
Yeah.
Every band that day is of this genre.
My ticket would be not because I dislike power metal. I can't assimilate that much power metal. That would be the day
It's too
that
much.
it would be on StubHub. That ticket for me would be on StubHub.
Yeah.
Well, they're celebrating their 20th anniversary, coming right up on that, and they are poised for U.S. breakthrough in a big way. I will tell you,
If you haven't heard of kind of that Dragon Force kind of
Exactly.
in that,
Yeah.
you're going to get the really soaring vocals. You're going to get the,
their first full American tour is happening.
that's crazy.
Yeah. It is funny, in listening to this record, I listened to the whole thing, and I giggled all the way through it because it's so over the top.
It's not subtle.
It is. No,
It is not casual.
No, it's not. So
Powerwolf.
So let's continue with some subtlety here.
Please
There's
do.
no ghost record.
Thank God.
This is right here, right now, and this is from his debut feature film. Hold on. Here's a press quote for you. You ready for this? A unique, phantasmagorical blend of mesmerizing live performance and intriguing narrative. Do we gotcha?
Original motion soundtrack. Original motion picture soundtrack.
And this package comes. Do you notice the graphics on the back? What does that remind you?
Kiss Alive?
Kiss Alive 2.
Yeah, Kiss Alive 2.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
that's right.
Is it or Live
It's
1?
not.
It's
It's one of them, but you're right. Even the color scheme would have been kind of like that red, that blood red.
Yeah, pretty clever. And this comes with a
looks
a
like,
big book
Dawn of the
with
Dead
photos.
or whatever,
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, Return of the Legion.
And of course, he has a Legion monster. He's one of those artists that the merch table has to open at 10 a.m.
Yes.
on the days he's playing because
Tobias
there's
Forge.
so much stuff. And this comes with a poster photo book because it's on a limited edition.
I think we've
color
talked
vinyl.
about this before. Remember the rumor mill on social media that Dave Grohl was their drummer?
Oh, he probably got mad and was like, "Hey, can I be your drummer? Can
you just come sit in?
I'll do that. Okay, let's talk about these guys. And this is really a band that's shaking things up, and they are really breaking out in a way that a band in the genre has in a long time. This is Knocked Loose. You won't go before you're supposed to. I mean, for a hardcore punk band's kind of metalcore.
Yep.
I don't remember anybody like busting through the way this band has done it in a long time.
Yes, they had on the last album a couple of years ago. There was there's that channel on YouTube, Hate Six, that all the they shoot it in like the basement of a church or something in Philadelphia, and like the lights are on. It's like kind of like a real all ages, straight edge kind of thing. East Coast thing. And they do a performance, and man, I remember watching that going,
It's
wow.
intense. It's intense.
Yeah,
And
this is good stuff. I mean, if this is your cup of tea, man, and you like that, just
And even if it's not your cup of tea, you should hear this because it's like, for what it is, it's super well executed. Even if it doesn't resonate with you, it's super interesting. You get two of the guys from Motionless in White, and then on that one track, Suffocate Poppy. So we've talked about Poppy on the show.
Yes.
Metal pop artist, and it kind of blends perfectly with what they're doing. Intense, heavy stuff.
and I think Turnstile having the hit they had.
That's it.
Had a little bit to do with kind of opening the door a little bit, and no, it's not only for like
and they're kicking
the
it
skate
open.
park and whatever.
Yeah, third record from those guys.
Cool.
I think it's going to be a big seller.
Knocked
all
Loose. I'd go to that
year
show.
long. Yeah.
I would go to that show.
Interesting record. Painted Shield, which they quietly released two other records. This is their third. Pearl Jam solo related, Stone Gossard's band, but it's also Matt Chamberlain, who used to be in a brilliant drummer.
Yeah,
used to be in PJ. And Mason Jennings, great singer-songwriter. This is their record, third record. It's a little bit of something for everyone. I think Pearl Jam solo spin-off things are usually pretty somewhat impenetrable and for fans only. This is not. This is like something I think people can really get if they hear it. Mason's a great singer. It's got enough riffs on there so you can identify with it.
I like it.
It's cool. It's a cool record. You should check it out. It's kind of all over the place.
Did Chamberlain play drums on Temple of the Dog?
I think that's right.
Cool, man. I'd give this a listen.
And
Love me some Stone Gossard.
yeah, grab that. Okay, we're gonna talk about a record. I like this record a lot, and it's funny because people's when I tell them I like this band, they're like, "But you don't like the Grateful Dead." I'm like, it's kind of a different thing. It's more Birds than Grateful Dead for me, but this is After a 12-year hiatus, Beechwood Sparks is back with a brand new album. It's produced by Chris Robinson, and it's just cosmic, spacey, country rock stuff.
Really good artwork.
Saw one of their last shows before they shut down operations more than a decade ago, and was really kind of blown away by it. I really like these records. Like, check them out. There is definitely a Grateful Dead influence there, but I kind of think it's more of like hippie era Birds stuff. But it's cool. Good harmonies, great guitar playing.
This is on limited edition Infinite Blue Vinyl.
Infinite.
For those of you scoring at home.
It's not a 12-inch LP.
It is not.
It's Infinite.
Nope.
Oh, you want to talk about some reissues?
Yes, I do.
Boy, the first one is just like teed up right here for
Come
you.
on.
Here, I'm going to give you get to...
oh, my God.
Here, you can hold the CDs out. A 6 CD set or a giant 4 LP set. There's more stuff on the CDs, obviously. Synchronicity, the final album. The hugest... I mean, of course, they had a ton of big records, but this is probably... the biggest one. There's tons of content, B-sides, unreleased stuff, live shows, ephemera, photos, and all that.
Now, what's the difference in these two, or is it
well,
the same one?
you can't fit all the content from the discs onto an LP, or it'd be like an
So you have to buy
set.
both of these. It's like volume 1, volume 2?
If you want to listen to the LP, no,
vinyl.
The vinyls, and there's no...
Sorry, it's my first
Blu-rays.
episode here to drop my first experience with a box set.
You do have people that are like, oh, I have to have both, especially for big bands, but you know, I think it's appealing to the vinyl market with the one set, but there's just, I think it's rare that there's records that have this much bonus content out there that's worthy that they want to do something. So there wasn't one for Ghost in the Machine like this. There wasn't one for the previous records. But this thing is just brimming with stuff, and this is a super limited edition. This is like when it's gone, it's gone. It's got a little. Yeah, that one's got a little hickey on it. 19-track live, 1983 unreleased concert recording, unreleased.
It's the only time I saw
him.
Synchronicity tour. Only time I saw him. And if you're one of those people, oh, I saw their first show, don't. Because I run into
well,
those.
I did not.
I run into
I
those,
did not.
I run into those people all the time.
I know plenty of people that are, yeah, they like to spring that
Oh
on
my
you.
God.
Hey, look what I did and you did.
I stopped talking to a guy because of that. Years ago.
Okay, now for something very different. Let's talk about the Drive-By Truckers. This is Southern Rock Opera Deluxe Edition. So this is their album that really launched them. They self-released
Holy
it.
cow.
And this is the Super Deluxe Edition with live tracks or whatever. People that are fans of this band, they know it. And this is probably, you can kind of say, you can draw a direct line to the modern rise of
Americana and Southern Rock.
And Southern Rock to these guys. They really were in a class by themselves when this record came out. And I like the quote. What's the quote on there?
3 guitars or a life crime.
That's what you got. That's what you got. So fans have been dying for this. There's a lot of live music in there on our Friends New West label.
Guys, come get it.
People are going to be
Cactus Music has
looking
copies
for it.
in beautiful Houston, Texas.
And
Holy cow. Here we
so
go.
this is really a polarizing Dead record that's celebrated. This is the Mars Hotel from the Mars Hotel, and 50th. Deluxe anniversary. This is their 7th studio record. Okay. Of course, they're really known for live records, but this is their 7th studio record, and this was the second one that they released on their own after leaving Warner Brothers. Getting the 50th anniversary super treatment. The CD has 3 discs with a whole complete live concert of the era, and of course, there's a CD LP version that's
cool,
limited as well. And you know, so what's interesting is we sometimes we talk about record making on the drop. This uses the what is known as the plangent tape restoration system. Do you know about this?
No.
So for recording that's this old, the master tapes have to pass and be mastered for. They have to create stamper to make records. They have to make it for cassette. For that tape, for being used for all those years, even if it's cared for immaculately well, it still has wear and tear, even though it's minimal from rolling past the tape heads all those times.
Got it.
And they use this plangent system that really kind of restores the tape.
So it's the best of the best you can get.
And you have producers like Phil Ramone, guys that are A-list guys that are against digital technology coming in. They're like, this is the game changer to make stuff sound better than
Good
ever.
to know.
And all the Bruce Springsteen. That was the only reason that Bruce Springsteen consented to his stuff being like remastered again, because he heard the effect of that. So this is these Grateful Dead reissues are part of that too.
I love it. We're at 4 minutes and 20 seconds coming down in the show.
Elvis Presley, Memphis. This is great period for him. This is him doing his great late '60s Memphis recordings without all the background vocals and stuff stripped into him. So if you don't like strings, you don't like background vocals, you just want to hear Elvis singing and play guitar with his band, this is for you.
Love it.
We have a few RSD essentials.
Go.
The last album from American horror punk band, The Misfits.
So good. I want that.
Purple Swirl vinyl.
I want the Purple Swirl.
And they are kind of back on the road charging crazy money for shows.
Oh, 100%, because it's all the original guys.
Go see them if you can. Final record for them.
I know.
And then
I'll know everybody in the audience.
Kids can relate to this. Everyone that lives in Houston, Texas, because he can relate to this. It was a short summer. Charlie Brown got to go back to school. All you HISD kids, see you next week.
See you Monday.
The great Vince Guaraldi. These features recordings that were newly discovered. They found a whole cache of Vince Guaraldi's, and so you got bonus tracks that have never been heard, as well as from broadcast of the show. This originally aired in '69. It was the 6th Charlie Brown episode.
I love it. And you don't even have to like Charlie Brown. Just put this on. It's amazing.
Great. Yeah. Your mood will improve dramatically.
It's amazing.
All right.
So we're on
make a creaking sound?
Yeah, make a creaking sound. It's time for the vinyl vault. It's time. Yes. Wow. So I brought.
Oh my God. What is this? Now I know why you were being so deceptive about the show. Okay. Let's talk about dreaming.
This was literally just reaching into the top level of my albums. Yep. And it's like one of the first things that came out. Because I was texting you last night. I'm like, okay, I've got the vault. So this is like one of those 70s record compilations that just had all the hits, like the K-Tel or the whatever those albums were. But I mean, you got some. You got "Don't Give Up on Us" with David Soul.
Sometimes when we touch.
You have oh my God, Eric Carmen, All by Myself, of course. Misty Blue, Dorothy Moore. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of bangers on here. I'm not Lisa, Jesse Coulter,
and of course, it had to be included. I like Dweeman.
I like dreaming.
And there's you've definitely got some yacht rock on here as well. So if you want this,
call me.
Can't promise you that it's a Cactus Music.
Look, man, DM me because this sucker original is first pressing.
You did. You really dropped it like a yacht.
I did. This is on the Teleproducts imprint. What is this? I&M.
Yeah, it's probably
out of North Korea
with strong ties to organized crime. Hey, we don't pay royalties. They wanted us to use this compilation.
Yeah, this was well loved.
Oh yeah,
it's seen a lot of
so great. Maybe the greatest vinyl vault ever. The goat of vinyl vault.
If this is the first episode of The Drop, you've seen Quinn takes puts a lot of heart and soul and work and detail into his vinyl vaults. Mine are usually whatever comes off the rack, or that's something I love.
Oh, it's beautiful.
But first, I almost put it back going, I can't do this.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can. All right, next week, there's going to be more drop, more good stuff, and don't forget the in-store.
Melissa Carper, 8/16 Friday, 5:30 p.m. sharp. See you there. Complimentary St. Arnold.
That's next week, right?
Next week.
Thank God. All right, we're out of here. Peace.